Lot 2500, 1954 Pontiac Bonneville Special Motorama concept car. It's said that Harley Earl, director of GM Styling, got the idea for this GM concept car while watching world speed records being set at the Salt Flats in Utah. It would be a sports racer called the Bonneville Special. Under the direction of Earl, Homer Lagasse and Paul Gilland were directed to build two Bonneville Specials. The cars were strictly showbiz and beyond production, but realistic enough for the public to identify with, making them contenders for best remembered Motorama cars.
Welcome back to our preview of the Ron Pratt Collection. It's headed to the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction block in January 2015. Two of the rarest and most iconic vehicles from the Ron Pratt Collection hail from the golden era of General Motors design under the auspices of Harley Earl. A 1954 Pontiac Bonneville Special Motorama concept car, and the 1950 General Motors Futureliner Parade of Progress tour bus. Pratt purchased both of these vehicles at the Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale auction in 2006 for millions, and the anticipation is high for what they will bring when they go back to the block in 2015.
The crowd comes to its feet to get a good look at this 1954 one-of-a-kind Pontiac Bonneville Special Motorama concept car.
One of two, all original but restored, and crossing the block that year after just selling the F88, concept cars really were getting the appreciation they deserved.
I saw this car sell unrestored for a few $100,000 several years ago. Nobody cared.
Wow. What we were telling people is, why do we pay more attention to foreign cars than our own heritage of these one-off works of art?
And in a figurative sense, the handprints of many of GM's top stylists are on this baby right here.
The car was done in 6 months in the styling section at General Motors under the auspices of Harley Earl, launching a new formula for General Motors.
These are rolling sculptures. These are American history. And the cars of those years, how they have so many influences from the jet age, and looking at the craftsmanship in the car, it is truly an iconic vehicle.
This is an iconic machine. When this rolled down Main Street in your town, everybody ran out to look.
When it comes to just sheer bulk, the magnitude, the scope, the size of the Futureliner was so amazing.
The stainless steel trim down the sides, fluted, which evoked the Streamliner trains that plied cross-country.
The two vehicles went on the Parade of Progress together, and they're reunited here together. So it is a piece of history. It was one of those Barrett-Jackson moments.
Sold the car to you, $800,000. Sold it! $800,000.
It ended up in the Ron Pratt collection, which is where it really belonged. And it's beautiful here with the Bonneville Special.
And then what does Ron do when he decides to sell the collection? Donate the Futureliner to the Armed Forces Foundation.
The beginning of the Ron Pratt Collection, a special group of cars that Ron Pratt has assembled over the last 15 years, reached that point in his life where he decided it was time to let some go, and we saw some of them sell on Tuesday, but the best ones are here tonight. And a round of applause for Ron Pratt and the collection as it rolls up onto the block.
And he is getting a standing ovation from the folks here at Barrett-Jackson. Tremendous collector with a great eclectic taste and a wide range of automobiles he's had out of his facility in Chandler, Arizona. And the centerpiece of that collection is right in front of us now, the 54 Pontiac Bonneville.
And the applause is not just for the collection, it's also for the fact that Ron Pratt over the years has been such a great supporter of so many of the charities that have been a part of the Barrett-Jackson collector car auctions over the years. He has truly donated millions and millions of dollars to great causes. And as a result, he's also bought himself some great cars, but he's done so much good for so many people. So let's talk about the car that is up on the block right now, that 1954 Pontiac Bonneville Special. It's a Motorama concept car.
General Motors had a permanent display on the first floor of the Waldorf Astoria in New York City. And that is where this car was shown to the public to gauge their impression of styling features and functional features that might someday find their way onto GM production cars. This is one such car. Most of these never made it out of General Motors. They were under orders to be destroyed when finished. However, this one did, was restored to a high standard. Ron Pratt bought it at auction and brings it back today.
Number two, that each of the General Motors divisions took a shot at the two-seat sports car. Chevrolet with its Corvette was the only one that made it to the marketplace. This would have been potentially Pontiac's variant. On the hood, we see those two silver streaks that were a Pontiac styling trend from the 30s right up to about 1957.
There were actually two Bonneville Specials that were built, one in bronze color, one in green. The bronze one made its debut in the Grand Ballroom at the Waldorf in New York. The green one was at the Pan Pacific Auditorium in Los Angeles, and the bidding has just shot through the roof. We're up to $2 million.
The little bumperettes on the front are functional. Kind of look a lot like what was seen on early Corvettes. The folding door and the bubble top roof. Well, that's a concept that never made it to production. Probably just as well. But it certainly evoked the jet fighter plane canopy idea of the 1950s. He's getting a little air there, and you see how this lifts up, and then the door opens for ingress and egress. I would imagine without air conditioning, this bubble top would be a pretty hot ride.
There you see up at the top, Rick Hendrick, just to his right, Jeff Gordon, and just to his left, John Hendrick, the founder of Discovery Channel. John Hendricks, the founder of Discovery.
And white Corvette, this is a fiberglass-bodied exercise.
Remember, this car does have a reserve. The reserve has not been lifted, but the bidding continues to climb right now at $3 million.
This tail fin would find it onto Pontiac passenger cars about 1955. The jet exhaust-looking spare tire cover, however, would not.
We have a phone bidder involved, and apparently the reserve was lifted. As a result, it sold over the phone for $3 million for that 1954 Pontiac Bonneville Special, the Motorama concept car, the only one remaining of the two that were built back in the 50s.